Welcome to Hello English webinar series. We would be conducting webinars on a regular basis on different topics. The topic for today's webinar is how to prepare for an interview. Now, the first and the foremost step towards an interview is an exceptional resume. It's only through your resume that you are being called for an interview or the interviewer first knows who exactly you are. So, drafting a proper resume is very essential. It's very important because your interview revolves around your resume. Now, some of the things to take care for some of the things to take care for in a resume are that your resume should be absolutely, it should be error free. There should be no spelling errors. There should be no grammatical errors. The content should be crisp. It should be concise. It should not be very vague or it should not be written in a very haphazard manner. For example, your personal details obviously would come before your personal achievements, right? So there should be a proper structure, there should be a proper format that you need to follow in order to write a resume. So make sure that your resume is properly written, is well written. Now there are certain interview questions which are very common. They are almost asked in every interview. For example, tell me something about yourself, or why do you want to work here, or why are you leaving, or have you left your job? Now, these are certain questions which look quite easy, that, okay, I would be able to answer these questions, but they're actually very thought provoking and they're very analytical. So make sure that, you properly draft an answer for all these questions. Um, Also, questions like why do you want to work here, or why should we hire you, or what do you know about this company are questions that, that show that you are actually interested in working for a particular company. The interviewer would be able to gauge whether you're actually interested in working for the company or you're merely applied just for the heck of it. So make sure you properly draft your answers for these questions. Now, introducing yourself at the interview, you don't have to dive into a long recitation of your CV and waste the opportunity of the interviewer to exactly know who you are. Okay, you have to briefly mention your educational background, the skills that you possess, and you can also highlight your past work experience when the interviewer asks you to introduce yourself. Okay, and make sure that you answer like how your skill sets match what the organization is looking for. If you are a new graduate, a fresh graduate, you can refer for your academic achievements or your extracurricular endeavors or any social work or volunteer work that you must have taken up. Now, talking about strengths and weaknesses, if an interviewer asks you in the same question your strengths and weaknesses, make sure you answer the weakness first and then come over to your strength. Okay. For weakness, point out those can also be looked at as strengths. For example, if I say that um, I like to get I'm very particular about deadlines, and sometimes I get very panicky in just when the deadline is right about the corner. So make sure now this will show your strength trait as well, because the interviewer will know that you are a serious kind of person and you're very passionate or enthusiastic about meeting the deadlines, right? So at the same time, if you're referring to yourself as little panicky, or you that can be turned, that is your weakness, but then it would be still counted as your strength. So make sure you tell such a weakness that would be also looked upon as your strength. For strengths, you can mention your personality traits with academic and professional strengths. For example, if I say I'm a team player, I need to actually emphasize and let the interviewer know, like which were the situations where I was actually a good team player, so that he, so that I'm yeah, so the interviewer knows that I'm not just speaking, but I actually have performed in the particular area. Now, reasons for leaving your last job. Prepare well for reasoning out why did you leave your previous job. It could be because of a variety of reasons, but it is best to remain very honest and positive when you're answering this question. Avoid giving generic or indifferent or inappropriate reasons. For example, for instance, reasons like, I didn't like my boss, or I didn't like the work, are very inappropriate reasons, and they are very actually will be looked down upon. Like, so you can give reasons like, maybe you're looking for a role that is more challenging, or there were layoffs happening in your company, or there was a mismatch in the skill set as to what was required for the job. Maybe you were hired for a managerial job and you were given a technical job. So there was a mismatch. So whatever reason you are giving, make sure that it is genuine, but then do not give any inappropriate or generic reasons. Why should we hire you? Now, you need to do some research about the organization. So, as to tell your interviewer about why you like, and what you think could be team in a crisis, that is a very vague response. Vis a vis, if I say that I have the ability to lead a team in a crisis, as in my previous organization, I did this. So, that is obviously a more um, what should you say, a more appropriate answer, that would be more justified, and that would support your answer if you give it with some example. So make sure whatever you are saying, you support that with an example. Now, reasons for looking out. Why are you looking out for a job change or for a new job? So in this kind of a question, never badmouth about your previous organization or about your previous manager or your previous bosses. It gives a very negative impression. State honestly why you'd be hoping to find a new spot. Why are you looking for a new job? You should be okay. There could be reasons as to location. Maybe the location where you're working out an organization without your resume or without any documents to support that. Now dress smartly. Okay, be if even if you're for girls especially, even if you're wearing Indian wear or you're wearing Western wear, whatever it is, make sure that you dress smartly as per the interview. And also, you should not wear too loud makeup, or your jewelry or your hair accessories should not be too loud at the same time. Try to keep things very neutral and very basic. Also, research about the company and job profile. So, as we discussed earlier, you need to know about the company. You need to know where you are applying, why are you applying, what the company is about, what they are exactly into. Okay, when answering questions, always maintain an eye contact with the interviewer. That shows that you are actually confident about yourself and you are being very honest. If you are just fidgeting with your hands, you're not maintaining an eye contact, you are just slouching around, then that gives a very negative impression. And at the same time, it shows that you're not comfortable in your skin. If you do not understand the question, you can request the interviewer to elaborate. Before leaving, greet them by saying thank you for your time, or it was great, it was nice meeting you, it was good to catch up, something like that. Always end it by thanking them for their time, and yeah, you should basically thank them. Dressing up for an interview. The clothing should be neat and clean and well ironed. Your hair should be neat and clean and well set. Your nails should be neatly trimmed. For women, if you plan to wear a nail paint, wear a neutral color and avoid very long nails. Your shoes should be polished. Conceal your tattoos in case you are having some tattoo on your body with some clothing or makeup. For men, either go clean shaved, or if you have a beard, please trim it properly. Also, make sure that you wear bold colors like black or beige or something like that when you're going for an interview. And for ladies, especially if you're wearing Indian wear, for example, a sari or a salwar kameez, make sure it's of a very neutral color and should not be very loud and pompous. Now, sections in a CV. A CV includes the following section. Header. Header will gives you your full name and primary contact details. Your phone number, your email ID are enough just in case the employer wants to get in touch with you or wants to have contact with you. The profile summary, a brief about your current or previous work profile and your key strength areas. Work experience. Provide the details that highlight your roles and achievements in your previous organizations. In case you do not have a previous work experience, you can just mention your educational qualifications. Academic details. Your educational qualifications should be listed in reverse chronological order. That means the latest one should be highlighted, should be put in first, and then in the reverse chronological order should be your other academic details. Extracurricular activities, significant achievements in non-academic activities. For example, if you're good at sports, or if you're good at, if you have been a national player, or if you have represented your school or college at some point of time, do mention that, because these things actually add to your resume, and they actually signify that you have been a an all-rounder, or you have been a team player. Social engagements. This section is completely optional. It includes any significant social work that you have done. Remember, the ideal size of a resume is one page. Unless you have several years of work experience, then it must be listed down. But always keep your resume crisp and professional. At an interview, now tips on body language. When you're walking for an interview, when you're just entering the room, walk with confidence, walk in confidently, and always ask the interviewer if you can be seated. Never just get into the room and just take a seat. That is very rude and unprofessional. Always remember to greet others with a firm handshake. So when you are entering, when you're meeting somebody, make sure that you have a firm handshake with the person. Use your hands confidently, but you should not fidget. Fidget is you should not be like into yourself, looking down at your fingers, and just playing with. You should not be fidgeting around. Also, nod when people are talking. This indicates that you're actually interested and you're actually listening to what the other person is saying. Don't slouch. Sitting hunched forward or lounging around with arms and legs gives a very negative impression. So, just sit properly, sit nicely, take a seat, and don't slouch around. Also, never chew gum. Keep your hands in your pocket. Don't tap your fingers. Don't tap a pen or going for a hug. These are certain things that should be avoided. Accepting, accepting an offer. Now, here are a few points to remember when you're writing the offer letter acceptance email. You should always thank the recruiter for offering you the job. Also, you should mention the post that you have been offered. Mention the notice period that you will be required to serve at your previous organization, I mean at your current job. Also mention your contact details, mention the remuneration, the monetary benefits, and the non-monetary benefits that have been offered to you by your current employer. So mention all these points in your acceptance email. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for your patience and your time. In case you have any query, or in case you want to book a session, please go to the link below. And yes, you can always book a session, or you can always drop in an email or a message if you have any query related to the same. Thank you so much.